Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of DBYT Podcast. I'm your host Tyesha, and today we're getting into marriage and its correlation to sex. So if that's something that interests you, keep on watching. Bite my tongue? Never. See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYT Podcast, and I'm just discovering the world around me.
Tyesha, I love you.
It be like God is telling you to keep going.
You quit on yourself, you really down bad.
Tune in Wednesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Okay, so first things first. Let's get into why it's important to have this conversation. So first and foremost, there is a weird thing that, or at least I find it weird, where it's like there is so much emphasis on having sex in a marriage, right? And my thing is like, why is that so widely pushed? And that's what I'm really here to talk about today. Like, just my lack of understanding, because I don't get it. And doing a little research, like, I found that what they are saying is marriage, to be in a marriage is to have sex. That is basically what it boils down to. And I don't know if I'm with it. I don't know if I'm hearing them. So when I think of sex and marriage, I think of two different entities. So in a marriage, I feel like it is a partnership. I feel like it's something that two people do in order to advance their relationship and their status in society. Not necessarily to be like, okay, now we can have sex. Because you can definitely have sex without the marriage part, but there is this thing that I've been learning about called soul ties. My good sis had brought it to my attention once before, but I didn't understand it. She couldn't really explain it to me, but I mean, from my understanding, is basically sex it stands for something. Didn't know that till the other day. So they said it stands for sexual energy exchange. And that makes sense. Like, the whole entity around it, where it's like, okay, you have sex to procreate and everything, but you don't necessarily have to be in a marriage. And I think marriages are so corrupted because of the fact that we are looking at the wrong ideas. Because everybody doesn't want kids. Everybody doesn't want to procreate. Nobody is like, why is it so pushed? I'm frustrated, guys. I am frustrated. Like, you can have one without the other, obviously. And it's like, even I've seen marriages that doesn't necessarily fit together. And I think it's because we're lacking the actual importance. Like, for example, let's say a virgin waits all this time to get married, but they're so influenced by the fact that, hey, I'm about to have sex for the first time. After we leave the reception, it's on and popping. But you don't even, like, y'all don't even match for real. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's probably a more far-fetched idea now because more people have premarital sex, but my point still stands. But on a serious note, like, sex doesn't keep a marriage together. Just because you can do stuff with your body doesn't make you a valid partner. Like, and I think that's where I'm stuck at, because it frustrates me, because it's like, well, first of all, why do we in our society we push for the girls to be abstinent, and we tell the boys, like, just make sure you wrap it up, make sure you do this and all this other stuff. But it's like, if you're telling the girls to be one way and the boys to be the other way, are they I'm frustrated, just know that. But honestly, I believe that marriage and sex, if you want to look at them on the same scale, should be viewed very differently. I believe that it's more than a physical attribute. It's an emotional one. It's a spiritual one. Like, it's more than just the physical. So why is it so pushed? And I hope somebody answers that and could clarify this for me. I want to know. I feel like when you want to get married for real, and I know I'm hopping everywhere, but this is literally my brain going like marriage sex, like that's what it's doing right now. So it's like, first of all, my first thought that just came back, I don't think people should get married in their 20s. I don't. I think that your 20s and your early, your teenage years is like puppy love, and you get into the point where you want to find attributes and characteristics that you like in a man, or at least in a boy at that time, because you're a teenager. But once you get past that and you get into like your early 20s and you start dating like on a more serious note, I feel like that's when you look for partner qualities, well, like serious partner qualities, where they are financially stable, where they are emotionally intelligent, where they could hold a conversation, where they can listen to you, where they can cater to you, and they can be themselves. They can feel comfortable being with you, and being, if you are monogamous, to be only with you, and if you are poly, then that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother episode, because no, not today. We ain't talking about polyamorous today. Like, we're not doing that. But I feel like that's what that's for when you are getting into like past like 25, 26. You want to start eliminating a lot, because your early 20s block, date like your life depending on it, because it does. You don't want to marry too early, because I feel like, first of all, it's not like back in the day, it probably wasn't a lawful thing. It was, if you had sex with this person, you are now married to this person, which is what I'm saying from the beginning. But now there are rules and regulations, and now you are a dot to the government, you're points to the government. Like, it's too much to me. But if you were to do it to and you wanted to elevate your relationship, and you wanted to take something smaller into something bigger, a bigger commitment to one another, a more serious outlook on, hey, I want to be devoted to you and only you, and I want to have your kids, and I want to meet your family, I want to be your family, I want to be as close to you as possible. I feel like it's beyond the sex. It's something you can't fake. And I feel like so many people make mistakes because we don't know any better when we're in our 20s. Because literally, you have to think about, for most of our life, we were in school. And you usually got close with somebody, maybe the girl or the dude in your class and everything, and y'all talk, and y'all, call yourself going together. And in some cases, high school sweethearts, they work, and in some cases they don't. Just like you could be in a relationship for 5 years and it goes nowhere, and you meet somebody and you start feeling something for them in like a month or so. And I mean, some people it happens like that fast, and some people it don't. But I mean, it's to each his own, and to the connection, because you're not going to have a connection with everybody, and if you do, then we probably need to have a chat. Probably need to reevaluate that, because what? How do you I don't know, but I don't, but neither one is right or wrong. It's just like, how do you even connect with that many people and have that much in common with that many people? Like, what? That's crazy. But anyways, I think the best time to settle down for like marriage for real is, you can start in your early 30s. I feel like by that time you may have been more established. You may have been through enough joyous times and heartbreak, to mash them together in order to be like, okay, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm not going to tolerate, this is what I will accept type thing. Just a reminder, I'm only 23 and I will continue to date until I don't want to date no more. I'm outside until I don't want to be. But anyways, I think that with me taking this route to be like, okay, I'm gonna hold out on the marriage thing because I'm not counting it out, but for my 20s, I'm not really looking for it. So, it's whatever. But I really think that being able to take the time to listen to your partner and figure them out for who they are, who they want to be, what their goals are, what their aspirations are, what they love to do, how do they get when they're upset, how to tend to somebody, how to cater to somebody for real. Like, it's so many different ways, and don't think that one shoe fits all or one hat fits all, one size fits all. It's not like that. Nothing is going to be exactly the way you want it to be, and you have to pick the best person for you. Always keep in mind that just because somebody seems very ideal, are they, what's the word? Because do they compliment you? Because that is so important to me. A complimentary partner, not somebody who's exactly like me, not somebody who's the complete opposite of me, but somebody who can come into my life and balance me out, and I can balance him out, and we can build from the ground if we need to. If we're not in the dirt, we're on the sidewalk, okay? That's what we call it. Because I'm not gonna say my preference, but I would like a man who is a little bit more established. Yeah, I don't want to get it out the mud too much. I never had to struggle, but I feel like I'm very reasonable, very responsible, very I get it. I understand that it builds character, and I built my character in a different way. So, you know what I'm saying? What I got on here? Patience in all of this is especially needed if you have to be abstained or remain celibate after a period of time. Definitely. For my ladies and gentlemen out there who don't want to give their energy away, kudos to you. I guess I'm on that journey, on that train. I don't know. All I know is this: for me, if we not trying to build a family unit together, or we not trying to elevate in that type of way, we not doing that, bro. Like, what's the point? Because think about it. If you mess around and have sex with somebody who doesn't want the same things as you, and let's say, for example, you want, like in my example, the family unit, and you're looking for that, and they're not, what are you gonna do? What when they say something off the wall and then you end up keeping it, and they don't want to be involved? You should have known that. Like, you shouldn't have let him or her persuade you to continue to have sex with them when that's not what they were looking for. They were looking for a good time, not a bondage or not a family unit. They're not looking for that. So talk to your people that you are opening up to. Okay. The risk on both sides. Okay, yeah. If you get married, and this is the thing about getting married though, people in our society have conditioned us to believe that when you find somebody good enough, snatch them up, lock them down, because there is absolutely no way that you could find somebody that actually compliments you. And that's not true. And you know what? That kind of goes into the Lori Harvey situation and how she dates on the slick. Like, this is from a while ago, but she was, involved with Michael B. Jordan and a lot of other famous people. But her most recent rendezvous was Michael B. Jordan. He proposed. She said no. everybody's like, oh, he's such a good man. Okay, but maybe she's 25 and maybe that's not what she was looking for. But had you asked her, had you had that conversation with her, or acknowledged it, because sometimes people have the conversation and they still overlook you and be like, oh, she don't know what she wants. She just, But now you're single again. Now you don't have a Lori Harvey in your space because you didn't want to listen to what she had to say or her social cues. Did she seem excited when you talked about different stuff? Like, did y'all talk about it like together? I don't know because I'm not in that. Could have been a PR stunt. Who knows? It's not my business. I'm just using it as a general example. But anyways, you could end up marrying somebody that's not compatible with you. You can also have sex with somebody that's not compatible with you. You could, either way, you just need to be careful because both you can undo. Once you have sex with somebody, you had sex with them. Once you marry somebody, you with them unless you get a divorce. And that's if both of y'all sign them papers. Because if y'all ain't signing them papers, y'all still married. So, yeah. Don't get married too young. That's just me, but you know. Somebody please get me. It's early in the morning. It's like 5:39, no cap. But y'all, that's really all I had to say. If y'all could answer any of my questions that I had in the beginning of this video, please drop it in the comments or go to my DMs or something, because shorty needs to understand. I want to understand what be going through y'all minds when y'all pick these sexual partners, when y'all pick these so-called life partners. Like, what compels you to do it? What inspired you to, like, what was the selling points in that process? Because I haven't got there yet. Like I say, I don't know about all that just yet. But if I do decide to do it, it will be later in my 30s. But that's all I really had to say for today on marriage and sex and their, relationship or whatever. So I'm Tyesha, and I promise I won't bite my tongue. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.